This is my favorite part of the evening. This is when we hear from our testimonial speaker, Rosanne Everson. Rosanne is going to share her family's story, and I hope that you'll feel a deep connection to Fraser's past, present, and future through the milestone moments that she shares. Let's welcome Rosanne.
Thank you. Good evening. I am honored to be asked by Fraser to be the testimonial speaker at this year's Gala and the celebration of their 90-year anniversary. Our family's story, of which I will tell you tonight, seems applicable to the theme as a full circle story of the incredible work Fraser does to provide children and their families the tools needed to have success and happiness for their future. Our son was born in 1987. His first 2 years of life were what one might say was fairly typical and on point with a 24-month-old. We realized at 2.5 that he was struggling with speech, and we worked at that time for a few months with a speech therapist who was successful in helping him. Things started to become interesting after that. At 3 years old, he was reading fluently and had incredible knowledge of numbers and letters. In fact, one day, out of the blue, he started to recite the alphabet backwards. Many of the things he did, we just assumed were above average cognitive ability. But then things became more difficult in that he needed to have order and consistency in his daily life, such as going the same way in the car. If I maneuvered in any other way, he had a meltdown. The same books read in the same order every day and every night. Calendar pages on a desktop turned at the same time every day. More and more things needed to be structured to work with him. He never played with toys. He was difficult to leave to anyone because no one knew how to do him like we did. But again, being our first child, we did not assume that this was that unusual. He went to a preschool program around this time, and one day another mother approached me, and she said that she had been working in the classroom and wondered if I would be open to the idea of having him diagnosed, as she had an older child with autism, and our son was showing similarities in what she experienced at this age. You must realize that autism was not the buzzword it is today. I had no idea what that was, and I had never even heard that word. But I listened to her, and I had him diagnosed at Children's Medical Center's program for exceptional children with communication and interactive disorders in 1991. He worked with Pat Police, who was the licensed psychologist there, and who, by the way, is still working at Fraser today. I believe she's in this room somewhere. And he was diagnosed with pervasive development disorder, PDD, which is an outdated term for autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, of which it's called today. We were provided a list of references and recommendations, which we followed. And by the age of 6 years old, he was able to mainstream to the Blake School from kindergarten to 12th grade, on to Middlebury College for his undergrad, and the University of Virginia for his master's. Thank you. Today, he is an options trader, which ties in, of course, to that fascination with numbers. And I would say he is a happy and successful adult. I thank that mother who approached me, and she is still one of my very best friends today. I thank Pat, who diagnosed him and gave us the tools needed to guide him in his early years. In 1994, Exceptional Children at Children's Medical Center transitioned to Fraser. We felt strongly that we wanted to pay it forward, and we have been supporting the work of Fraser since 1995. Thank you. And then there is our full circle moment with Gabriel, our niece Katie and her husband Nick's third child. Again, Gabriel seemed quite typical his first 2 years of his life. But around the age of 3, my husband and I started noticing some familiar behaviors we had seen in our son. He had patterns of play over and over again. His language became less and less. He was starting to self-injure if melting down, all subtle at first. We approached his parents and told them what we were seeing and mentioned getting an evaluation at Fraser. They did not hesitate. And coincidentally, all these years later, their first point of contact was Pat Police, the psychologist we had seen in 1991. Gabriel's diagnosis was indeed autism. Fortunately, he was able to attend services at Fraser quite soon afterward. He had speech and OT therapy and was admitted into the ABA program, which he just graduated from this past summer. His family attended family therapy weekly, which was helpful to them as well. Gabriel has gone through many difficult stages, some similar, albeit many not, as our son. He came to Fraser with very little language. He went through periods of not coping with many things in life, making parenting very challenging for them. Lots of ups and downs in his journey. However, as I stand here today, he is 7 years old. He's attending Creek Valley Elementary in Edina as a first grader, and he is a happy child. Again, because of the early intervention and services provided by Fraser, we are at this wonderful place in his development. For many families like mine, the future feels uncertain. Unlike our son, Gabriel will require additional resources at every stage of his life. As we look ahead, I often wonder, what will high school look like? What options will he have for college or employment after graduation? What gives us hope is knowing that Fraser will be there for him, not just now, but as he grows. Fraser provides services that will support him in school, in building friendships, in developing life skills, and eventually in exploring college and employment opportunities. At each stage, Fraser offers what he will need to take the next step forward. I truly believe in the importance of early intervention. Fraser exists to diagnose and provide the treatment program and the incredible safe place for these children to learn, grow, and overcome many of their daily challenges. Also to provide families the education they need to understand how to deal with the hurdles of everyday life. The teachers, the speech and OT therapists, the many departments needed to run this organization, all passionate people, deserve the recognition and thanks for the hard work they do every day at Fraser. It is not easy work, it's very complicated, and they are all a gift to our world. I stand here today as a mother and a great auntie to give my story as true testament to the work at Fraser. With your help and support, let us continue to provide what my son and great-nephew were so fortunate to receive early on, to begin their journey successfully despite their diagnosis of autism. Begun as the vision of one woman, this mission that was created to enhance the lives of so many individuals depend on our heartfelt support. Support which we provide by donating to this wonderful institute and the services it provides. As individuals, we cannot provide the expertise required to assist in making these families better suited to face life in a difficult world. However, we can provide the financial support they require with our donations. Donations unmeasured in dollars, but in the successes apparent in every person that has the opportunity to attend and be part of the Fraser experience. Thank you for listening to our family story.